From risking a lawsuit over newcomer Oscar Piastri to potentially pulling the brakes on the career of a beloved driver, McLaren F1 CEO Zak Brown hasn't exactly been a paragon of good decisions lately. And well, the Bahrain GP has only made that fact more evident. McLaren's 2023 season is off to a disastrous start. The Bahrain Grand Prix was an absolute nightmare for the team, with both cars suffering a slew of technical issues that left fans shaking their heads in disbelief. This obviously came after they paid Daniel Ricciardo a whopping $18 million to leave the team, only to have both cars fail to finish the race. Rookie driver Oscar Piastri was supposed to be McLaren's savior, but his first race in Bahrain was a complete disaster, though no fault of his own, of course. See, Oscar suffered a hydraulic failure early on, which turned out to be an issue with the wiring loom beneath the steering wheel. The team tried to fix it with a quick pit stop, but the engine cut out, and that was pretty much the end of Oscar's F1 debut. On the flip side, his teammate Lando Norris was also forced to pit multiple times due to pneumatic issues, which obviously impacted his race. Now, Zak Brown tried to downplay the issue, saying it was an electrical problem, but fans have a feeling that he's just trying to avoid backlash. Like, even Piastri himself confirmed that there were no issues like this during pre-season testing, leaving many wondering what went wrong. And while Brown may be quick to point out that these technical issues were unexpected and out of his control, the fact remains that as CEO of the team, he's responsible for ensuring that his team is adequately prepared for each race. And as long as Brown doesn't take that responsibility, McLaren's problems will only keep multiplying. Now, Brown and the new team principal, Andrea Stella, have been adamant that the ML60 will keep getting better with upgrades. But, as Danny Rick would tell you, Zak Brown can't be trusted. See, in the latest season of Netflix's Drive to Survive, we get a juicy behind-the-scenes look at Ricciardo's early exit from McLaren. And cameras caught F1 journalist Roberto Chinchero whispering to Ricciardo, "I told you not to trust Zak," shortly after he made the announcement. And well, I can't say he was wrong. McLaren, particularly Brown, kind of fumbled the bag with the Aussie. They basically built a car around Lando's driving style, which makes sense since they see him as a future star for McLaren. The thing is though, that car simply didn't gel well with Daniel, and when it didn't, instead of, trying to help him adjust, Zak Brown gave Ricciardo the boot 1 year before his contract with McLaren ended. Was he justified in doing so? Sure. F1 is a cutthroat sport with no room for underperformance. Drivers are constantly measured against their teammates, and Lando Norris has proven himself to McLaren by consistently producing great performances and displaying leadership qualities. Whereas Daniel struggled to transition after leaving Red Bull, never consistently finding his rhythm with the team. And well, you gotta do what you gotta do to win. However, many fans and experts believe that the team has made him a scapegoat for deeper problems within McLaren. Just look at Ricciardo's performance at Monza last year, or the fact that he got McLaren their first win in 9 years at the Italian GP in 2021. And then tell me if Danny was the problem. I'm not saying he was perfect, cause yeah, Lando did give the better overall results, but he deserved to stay with the team. Yet the way that Zak essentially blamed Ricciardo for all of McLaren's shortcomings in the last 2 seasons, that was just embarrassing. And again, the Bahrain GP proves that, because there wasn't a Ricciardo there to slow them down this time, was there? Yet they still finished P18 and P19 with a DNF. Who are they going to put under the bus this time? Is it going to be Lando? Or will Oscar be getting the honors this year? Well, if you ask me, it should be neither one of them, because it's time for them to start putting the blame where it actually belongs. And it's definitely not the drivers. Never was. You see, last September, McLaren realized that they were in trouble and had to make drastic changes to their car. This led to their preferred MCL60 version not being ready for the start of the season. What went wrong, you ask? Well, it all started with the rule change that increased the height of the floor edge by 15 millimeters, impacting McLaren's intended design. They tried to catch up with the change by evolving their 2022 car, the MCL36, with different tweaks. But it wasn't enough. McLaren had faith in their broader aero concept, but they were behind the curve in one area: the floor edges. The FIA pushed through the rule change late last summer. And while McLaren was supportive of it, they didn't expect their existing floor edge design to be so incompatible with the new increased height. This led to a completely refreshed and revamped approach to that area of the car, causing them to miss their aerodynamics targets for the launch car. As McLaren went down this new route, they quickly found gains relative to their original design, but it wasn't mature enough. McLaren's technical director, James Key, reckons that if they had been onto this 4 weeks sooner, they could have had a better start to the season. And while this delay has made for a painful start to the 2023 season, the rule change might prove to be a necessary evil. And why's that? See, even if McLaren's original design may have been reasonably effective without the 15mm change, at some point they'd presumably have discovered that the route taken by other teams was more productive. In other words, McLaren probably needed to wake up to this new floor edge geometry sooner rather than later. And if they had realized the extent of their limitations in this crucial area sooner, they might have been able to avoid wasting more time catching up to the competition. So, in short, McLaren's management messed up big time by not being proactive enough with the rule change and its impact on their car design. And now they're playing catch-up and struggling to keep up with the competition. The team's new development package is expected to be ready in a few weeks and could potentially be implemented in time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Despite the team's current struggles, Stella is optimistic about the season ahead and believes that the team will be a top 4 contender by the end of the season. Yeah, we'll see about that. Because even though the car is a big part of the problem, there's still Zak Brown we have to deal with. The team CEO has been at the helm since 2018 and has overseen a period of relative instability for the once dominant team. Sure, McLaren has taken some positive steps under his leadership, such as securing a major sponsorship deal with Gulf Oil and restructuring the team's management structure. However, there have also been some missteps, such as the team's ill-fated partnership with Honda, which resulted in several years of poor performance. Brown also came under fire for his handling of the team's driver lineup. In 2021, he made the controversial decision to replace Carlos Sainz with Daniel Ricciardo. And then, just 1 year later, his decision to replace Danny with Oscar Piastri was met with a similar response. Now, the team has already accepted the issues with the car and is actively working to address them. So, all that's left to do is find a solution for the Zak Brown problem. Cause if this video has proved anything, is that he's the one behind McLaren's destruction. Well, that was all you needed to know about if Zak Brown is destroying McLaren.